Are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Thank you. Looks like everybody has a pad and paper if you want it. I think we are ready to begin the evidence. Mr. Bull, on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Mr. Robinson will be taking the next few directs.
Okay, Mr. Robinson.
Your Honor, the state would call Don Hunerdosse.
Sir, if I can get you to come right up here for me, please.
Sure.
And if you could, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated. If I could ask you to sit right up to that microphone so everyone can hear you, and if you would, please state your full name and spell your last name.
Donald Hunerdosse, Hunerdosse.
Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name for the record?
I'm, excuse me, Donald Hunerdosse, spelling Hunerdosse.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a farmer,
How long have you been farming?
48 years,
And where do you farm?
in Milo, Iowa, Warren County.
What kind of farming do you do?
Diversified crop and livestock.
What kind of crops do you grow?
Corn, soybeans, and alfalfa.
Excuse me, are the mics on?
It is not on.
Can you help us?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, that's all right. Can you hear? I couldn't
I
hear.
was going to ask.
Okay, very good.
Now it's on.
And you're gonna have to put it close to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to speak right into it.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, what about attorneys? Do you have, are they set?
Is it on?
Tap it. I don't think so. Oh, there you go. But you'll speak into it. Thank you.
Sure.
You may continue, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you know Bill and Shirley Carter?
Yes, I do.
How do you know them?
Just acquaintances. Meet would see him at Casey's General Store.
When you say Casey's, is that the Casey's in Milo?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to ask you to think back to June 19th of 2015. Did you run into Shirley Carter that day?
Yes, I did.
And where did that occur?
At the Casey's General Store in Milo.
And did you speak with Shirley that day?
Yes.
And can you tell us what your discussion was about?
They were both farmers. I was a farmer. We just talked about our daily routine, what we was going to do for the day, just pretty much general talk.
Did you discuss your candidacy for the Iowa Corn Board?
Yes, we did.
And what is the Iowa Corn Board?
Well, I was running for the Iowa Corn Promotion Board, which oversees the checkoff dollars that is assessed. When you sell a bushel of corn, you give a cent per bushel that goes to the checkoff fund that the promotion board oversees.
Is the promotion board part of the Iowa Corn Growers Association?
Yes, it is.
And can you tell us what the Iowa Corn Growers Association is or does?
They promote corn and corn products for Iowa corn growers.
Who can be a member of that association?
You have to be, you run for the position by vote, and the people in your district vote for your candidacy or vote you in as a director.
So the members of the association vote for the board, is that correct?
Yes, you're correct.
And were Bill and Shirley members of the Iowa Corn Growers Association?
Yes.
Just to back up to June 19th now, what was Shirley doing at Casey's that day?
They went there regularly for coffees.
When you were speaking with Shirley, did you observe anything out of the ordinary?
No, I did not.
Did you talk to Bill that day as well?
Yes.
And what did you discuss with Bill?
Again, we discussed weather, what we'd done in the past few days, what we was probably going to do, just general. Hi, how are you? You know.
Where did these conversations actually occur?
Outside Casey's, I think he was sitting in the pickup. I was standing outside the pickup.
When you were speaking with Bill, did you observe anything out of the ordinary?
No, I did not.
What time did you talk to Bill and Shirley that day?
It was usually around the 7:30, maybe just a little later than that day. I don't know.
After your conversation, did Bill and Shirley leave?
Yes.
After they left, did you have any further contact with Bill or Shirley Carter on June 19th, 2015?
No, I did not.
I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
Cross-examination.
Sir, my name's Christine Branstad.
You talked to Shirley inside the Casey's?
No, I did not.
Where did you talk with Shirley?
She was getting in the pickup after she had been inside to buy the coffee.
And that's because Bill would wait outside in the truck while Shirley went in to get the coffee.
That was pretty ordinary, yes.
And at that time, Shirley told you that she intended to fill an absentee ballot and vote for you.
Yes, she did.
I have no further questions.
Anything further of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Thanks, sir. You may step down.
Okay.
May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are excused. Thank you very much. Further evidence on behalf of the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would call Justin Jordan.
Corinne, can you hear that? Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You have to speak.
Sure, if you can come right up here, please. You're going to be seated right here, if you would, please. If I can get you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated. If you would, please state your full name for the record. Spell your last name for us.
Justin John Jordan, Jordan.
Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, can you introduce yourself to the jury?
I am Justin Jordan.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I work for the city of Altoona, and I also farm.
Is that how you were employed in June of 2015?
No, in the June of 2015, I was a crop insurance adjuster for rain and hail, and also farmed.
Do you know Bill and Shirley Carter?
I do.
How long have you known Bill and Shirley Carter?
I moved to my farm by Bill and Shirley back in 2003, so I've known them 2003.
And how would you say you know them?
We're good neighbors.
And you live in the country?
I do, yes.
So when you say neighbors, what exactly do you mean?
Bill's one of my closest neighbors, and he's kind of my go-to neighbor. If I need help with something, a piece of farm machinery breaks down, someone to help me out in a tough situation.
How far is your residence from Bill and Shirley Carter's home?
By road is 3/4 of a mile.
Would you say you knew Bill and Shirley Carter well?
Yes.
And can you just describe for the jury what your relationship with them was like?
I'd probably stop by maybe once every 2 months just to kind of, see how things were going. If I had some business, he did some custom baling for me before I had my own baler. So just kind of touched base throughout the year.
In that business relationship, did you ever have any issues?
No.
Are you familiar with the vehicles Bill and Shirley Carter drove?
Yes.
What vehicle does Bill Carter typically drive?
Typically drives a standard cab Chevy truck, kind of a blue-gray in color.
Is that what Bill Carter was driving in June of 2015?
Yes.
Is there anything that distinguished the truck Bill was driving in 2015 from other standard cab blue-gray Chevy trucks?
Yes, he has a white fuel tank in the back of the truck.
So on June 19th of 2015, did you see Bill Carter?
I did.
Where did you see him?
He was in the process of leaving his property.
How do you know it was Bill?
I followed Bill several times on gravel roads, just to and fro, over the years before that incident. And Bill's a man of short stature, so when you follow Bill, you can just see his cap right above the headrest. And that morning, when he was in the process of leaving his property, I came up behind him, and I could see his profile in the back window of his truck.
Was there anyone else with Bill when you saw him?
No.
At what time did you see Bill leaving the house that day?
At the time I left my property, from the time I saw him, it would have been sometime between 7:40 and 7:50 a.m.
How do you know it was in that time range?
I had an appointment to meet with another adjuster in Knoxville at 8, and I checked the clock of my Jeep before I left the property and knew I was going to be running a little bit late for that appointment. So in that process, I would have been seeing Bill sometime between 7:40 and 7:50.
Now, you said you followed Bill,
I did.
so you were traveling in the same direction.
We were.
Do you know when your paths diverged that morning?
I remember following him on Perry to the point where Perry turns to the north, still on gravel. After that point, I don't remember seeing him, but I took that path to the highway that morning.
I have no more questions at this time. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Mr. Jordan, at some point in the 2 or 3 days prior to the death of Shirley Carter, you saw a strange person in your neighborhood?
I did.
Someone who you described as having a scruffy beard and pushing a baby stroller on the gravel road?
That is correct.
Did you tell law enforcement about the person you saw?
I did.
Other than taking that initial report, did law enforcement ever come back to you with any photographs or anything to look at to see if you could identify that person?
They did not.
I have no additional questions.
A redirect.
Just one, Your Honor. Did you see that individual on June 19th, 2015?
I did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are excused. Thank you very much, Mr. Jordan. Further evidence on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. State would call Lacey Donahoo.
Good afternoon. You're headed right up here. I can get you to raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
I do.
please be seated. I'm going to ask that you speak right into that microphone so people can hear you. And if you would, please state your full name for the record. Spell your last name.
Lacey Christine Donahoo. My last name is Donahoo.
Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you just briefly reintroduce yourself to the jury?
Sure. My name is Lacey Donahoo.
How are you currently employed?
I work for Jacobson Auto Body in West Des Moines. I'm an office manager.
Is that how you were employed in June of 2015?
No, at that time I was the administrative assistant for Iowa Corn.
And what were your duties in that role?
I had many duties. I would send out mailings, handle meetings, setting up people's hotel rooms, sending out information for elections.
I want to focus on your role in the elections. Were you responsible for processing absentee ballot requests?
Yes, I was.
And how could an individual request an absentee ballot?
There was a few ways they could do so. They could either mail in a request, call in a request, or someone could drop a request by our office. It didn't have to be the person specifically.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Your Honor, I would, at this point, I believe without objection, offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2.
Any objection? Ms.
No objection,
Franson?
Your Honor.
States Exhibits 1 and 2 are both admitted.
Handing you what's been marked as, or admitted as State's Exhibit 2. Can you tell us what that is?
This would be a request for an absentee ballot with the name of Bill Carter on it.
Your Honor, may I publish that to the jury?
You may.
Is this an absentee ballot that would have been sent out in 2015?
From what I can see, it's about the standard form that they would have used. I can't say that it's the exact one, but yes, because I don't see a date.
You can stand up.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I would say that that would be the form.
And would that be the ballot for the election in June of 2015?
That would be the request for that ballot, yes.
So can you discuss or explain the process that you would go through when you received an absentee ballot request?
Sure. If someone called in or a request was either dropped off or mailed in, we would open our mail daily and keep those all put together and enter them into a Google document. If somebody called in, then we would enter it as that call came in so that we had all of their information accurately. It didn't necessarily matter if it was the spouse who called in for someone or if it was the person themselves. We entered it as the person who was going to be signing that document.
Your Honor, may I publish Exhibit 1 to the jury?
You may.
Your Honor, may the witness step down to look at this document?
She may.
Thank you.
And I would suggest, counsel, if she can't see it, perhaps the jury can't either. I see some heads nodding, no, they can't. Can you see that one? Can you see it yet?
Do you want me to help you?
Better? Okay. You can stay standing.
Perfect, thank you.
So can you describe to us what Exhibit 1 is?
Yes, this would be the document, which would be a Google document that I would have filled in when I either received a phone call or that ballot. Typically, I would have entered it daily, or if the mail came late in the day, the following day.
So when the request is made by phone, do you enter that information immediately?
I do, I enter it while I have them on the phone, or while I had them on the phone, so that I could make sure that I had their information correct.
And does this document date and timestamp when the information is entered?
Yes, it would have been to the side of it.
And would that date and timestamp be accurate?
To my recollection, yes, because it would have been done automatically by a computer that was the same one I used to put my time in every day.
Did you ever have an indication the date and time was wrong?
I hope not, I used it to clock in.
So as we look at State's Exhibit 1, can you just explain to us what information we're seeing here?
Sure. So it would be last name, or first name, last name, and then the USDA crop reporting district just depends on where they lived, what district they got to vote in. So each year, a different district or set of districts would have elections, so we would enter it by the district they needed to have the ballot for. The next would just be their address, so that we could get all of that to them.
And as you look at that document that you had created, is there an entry for Bill Carter?
Yes.
What is the date of that entry?
Looks like 6/19 of 15.
And what is the time that that was entered?
8:45 or 8:46.
So let me back up just for a minute. You can probably sit.
Thank you.
Who would be eligible to vote in Iowa corn election?
So it was based on how much corn was grown. We could send out a ballot to someone, and they would have to read on inside the packet the statistic, or the information on if they were eligible. It would say you have to grow this much corn, sign below to say that you've done so.
Now, when you enter a request for an absentee ballot, are you entering the information of the eligible voter?
Generally, yes. We had a lot of spouses who call in to get them, but we would enter it as whoever would be signing for it that they had sold that amount of corn.
And just to be clear, if a spouse called in, you wouldn't enter any information about the spouse?
Not necessarily. I might say, hey, whose name do you want this in? Who's going to be signing for it? And they would tell me.
And then on Exhibit 1, is Bill Carter's information listed because he's the eligible voter?
Yes.
Could that request have been made by his wife?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ramstad,
And just to clarify, you don't remember if you talked to a male or to a female on that date?
No, I mean, it was quite a while ago, and you can see there's a lot of names there. I can't remember distinctly that call.
I have no further questions.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You may step down. May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are excused.
Thank you.
Further evidence or testimony on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State calls Craig Ambrose. Let's just have a moment to check to see if Mr. Ambrose is in the hall.
You may.
Kristen, do you have any objection to 3 and 4? The Cargill.
Good afternoon, sir. You're headed right here. If I can get you to raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated. If you would, please try to sit up, speak right into that microphone, and please state your full name, spell your last name for us.
My name is Craig Ambrose, Ambrose.
Counsel.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm currently a project manager for Cargill.
And how long have you worked for Cargill?
I've worked for Cargill for 17 years.
Back in the summer of 2015, did you work in the same capacity as you do today?
I did not. At that time, I was the facility manager for the Cargill facility, Eddyville, Iowa.
What does facility manager mean?
That means I was in charge of all operations, all personnel, all assets of the operation of the corn wet milling facility.
And what is the address for the Cargill plant in Eddyville, Iowa?
17540 Monroe Wapello Road.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Your Honor, at this time, my understanding, no objections. State offers Exhibit 3 and 4.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's exhibits 3 and 4 are admitted.
Sir, I've now handed you Exhibit 3. You can see that by the blue sticker on the back. Your Honor, may I remain near with the
may.
witness?
You may.
Sir, can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Yep. There are two pieces of paper. One is for when a truck comes into our plant delivering corn. It is the grading ticket. And it says what the grade of the corn was. From there, they proceed on to a dump station, and the other ticket would show the weight of the corn that was delivered to our facility.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to publish, starting with Exhibit 3?
You may.
Sir, if you'd like to stand up so you could better see, or Your Honor, could the witness step down?
Except then he'll be standing in front of the jury. If you can see from there.
I can see.
Okay.
Sir, you were describing that there are in fact two different documents attached to the exhibit. You were referencing one concerning the grading of moisture of the corn.
Yeah.
Is that what I've shown on the Elmo here for the jury to see?
Yes, that is the grading ticket. It shows the weight, the moisture, the damage, and different aspects of the corn that was delivered on that day.
So as we look at this document, it says grade date. What does grade date mean?
That means the day that they pulled in to the facility. We have a probe that goes down into the truck and gets a sample. So they were graded on 6/19/2015 at 9:01 and 8 seconds a.m.
And who is the customer as it references this exhibit?
That would be signed by a driver of Bill Carter.
And just because this may come up later, sir, does Cargill accept wet corn and dry corn?
We accept what we would consider wet corn, yes.
Do you just make less money if you have wet corn?
We make less money. There's additional costs for processing the wet corn at our facility.
But if I have wet corn and I show up at Cargill, I can still deliver my corn.
Depends on how high the moisture is. There is a limit, but yes, we do accept higher moisture corn. We have to process it very quickly, otherwise it can become further damaged.
And does someone with dry corn drop their corn at a different location than someone with wet corn?
Yes, we have a preferential where we want to dump the wet corn and the dry corn. We want the wet corn to go quickly into the process, so there is a preferred dump for wet corn.
Now, sir, you mentioned a second document that's also attached as part 2 of Exhibit 3. Sir, on page 2 of Exhibit 3, what are we looking at here?
This is actually so after they're probed and we have the grading done, they will proceed in their vehicle, in the truck, to a dump area. And the dump area would actually weigh the corn. So this shows that they arrived into the dump at 9:19:31 and what their gross weight was. And it shows what time they were done dumping, and then they pulled back onto the scale, and it shows what their tare weight was. So then it gets to the net weight. So they finished dumping, and the document was printed at 9:22:32, and then signed again by Bill.
Now, sir, I want to now take a look at Exhibit 4, which is also next to you. Permission to approach again, Your Honor?
You may.
Your Honor, do I need to seek permission to approach my own witness each time, or only the first?
You do not.
Keep going the wrong way here, sir. I guess let's start, as we look at this document, who is the customer?
Well, Cargill would have been the customer of the corn. Jason Carter was the driver and delivered the corn.
What time is this the form for the moisture probing?
This is, you'd have to slide it over a little bit to verify. Yes, this is the one for when he came into the facility, and this is where they probed the vehicle. And grade date is 6/19/2015, arrived 9/17/18.
And so as you look at this, can you tell whether or not Jason Carter had wet or dry corn?
That moisture is 15.7. That is the typical moisture of what would we consider dry corn.
Okay, so you believed at that time that would be dry corn?
That's what we would consider dry corn at our facility.
Now, I want to have you take a look at this form as well. I recognize it's somewhat faded, sir. Is this the second part of the process? This is the form when you get probed. This is the form that you get from you folks after you've dumped the corn.
Yep, this would be another dump one. If you look at the time, where it says scale sequence, right below there's a time. It says 9:52:39, and then the gross weight behind there would have dumped, and then 9:50. I think that says 9:52:39 again. Tare weight. That is a different style dump. That's why there's not two numbers like the other wire, but that is his actual dump wire. So it says that he delivered. I think I can't read it real well, but it's 55,700 pounds of corn potentially.
Sir, does the Cargill facility have video cameras in it?
Yes, we do.
And do they monitor various places during the process in which farmers are delivering their corn?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, State Officers Exhibit 142.
No objection.
Exhibit 142 is admitted.
Sir, I'm going to hand you 142. Can you tell me what that is?
That is an overhead picture of the Cargill facility and the surrounding complexes that are part of what we would call our bio campus.
I'm going to put it up on the board for a second, sir. You know what, sir? I think it's going to be easier if we use a blow-up. Sir, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as Exhibit 142A. Is this the same photo as 142, just slightly larger?
Yes, it is.
State offers 142A, Your Honor.
No objection.
142A is admitted.
Sir, could you orient the map the way that it makes the most sense to you?
Yep. All right.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury various places that we're looking at here?
Yep. This is,
Back up a little, Mr. Bull, if you can, and you can.
Excuse me, I'll move out of the way, Your Honor.
Okay, if you can turn that so the entire jury panel can see it, sir.
okay. This would be a Monroe-Wapello County Road right here, a blacktop. This is where trucks would pull in to wait to be graded. And once they would go and drive this way to be graded. And right here would be the grading area. Trucks then proceed to drive into our facility. Here, they can go to one of two dumps. They can go this way and through a dump, or they can go over here and through a dump. And then from here, they can drive this way and drive out our facility and get back onto another county road. We also could come this way and proceed back out to this county road and get back on the county road as well.
Okay. So, Mr. Ambrose, what I need to do at this point is try to make some records so that someone reviewing this could make sense of what you just said, because all we've written down is here, 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 here.
Yep.
Now, are there two exits that are known at Cargill?
Yes, there are two exits.
And are they commonly referred to as the east exit and the west exit?
Yes, that is correct. This would be the east exit. This would be the west exit. This is north this direction.
Okay, so east exits out onto Wapello Monroe County Road.
Yep, east is right here. That is the exit for the east.
And then the west exit is a more drawn-out process to get out of your facility. Is that a fair statement?
It is, yes, it is a longer drive. There are some gates that you have to pass through, stop, and there's some stop signs inside of our plant that you have to proceed to get out to this blacktop here, and then this is the blacktop that goes up with a stop sign going back this way.
So are there also any other advantages to a farmer that's looking to exit from the east as it relates to some of the convenience of the roads?
No, there's additional stopping points if you're going out this direction. There's less stopping points if you're coming out this direction.
And as you turn right to gain access back onto the road, is that not in fact has in essence a truck turn lane built into the roadway as well?
Yes, when you pull out here, you have a stop sign that you have to wait for. You have stop signs there. You have a stop sign here. When you come here, you're going to pull out. This road right here is just one of those curved entry lanes onto a 4-lane, so you are not having to slow down or stop.
Sir, I'm going to go ahead and hand you a yellow sticker. Could you please place on the exhibit where the east gate is?
The east gate, it's approximately right there.
Sir, have you had an opportunity to review the videotape of June 19, 2015 in the early, I would say, around 10 a.m.?
Yes, I have.
Sir, were you able to determine which gate Jason Carter exited from?
I could tell the vehicle that was driving out was going through the east gate.
You got our permission to retrieve the exhibit?
Okay.
Your Honor, the state passes the witness.
Ms. Branstad?
There is video camera at the east gate.
There's a video camera that is facing towards the probing and the grading area, so it's at the east gate, and you can see the east gate from it.
Is there also a video at the west gate?
We have numerous video cameras throughout our facility. I believe there's one at the west gate as well.
I have no further questions.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambrose. You may step down. May this witness be excused.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are excused. Further evidence on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, state calls Deputy Troy Balma.
Deputy, if I can get you to come right up here, please.
Yes, sir.
If I can get you to raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated. I would ask that you speak into that microphone so everyone can hear you. And if you would, please state your full name, spell your last name.
Deputy Troy Balma. Deputy Troy Balma.
Can you hit the button, please?
Looks like the light's on.
This is a little better. Is that
There we
better?
go.
Deputy Troy Balma. My last name spelled Bouma.
Counsel.
Sir, we can see by your uniform. For what law enforcement agency do you work for?
Marion County Sheriff's Office.
And were you employed on June 19th, 2015?
Yes, sir.
In what capacity?
I was the deputy for the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Sir, did you play a role in the investigation into the death of Shirley Carter?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell the jury what it is you did?
On June 22nd, I was asked to retrieve surveillance video from the Cargill plant in Eddyville, Iowa.
And did you do so?
Yes, sir.
And who did you retrieve that evidence from?
The Cargill plant, the surveillance technology at the Cargill plant.
And did you in fact get the video footage?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, did you know what you were looking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you explain to the jury how you knew what you were looking for?
In some capacity, I was given a photograph of the two different trucks operated by Bill Carter and Jason Carter that were supposedly being operated at the Cargill plant during a specific time on June 19th, 2015.
And were you able to match up individuals and vehicles matching the descriptions that you believe to be Jason Carter and Jason Carter's truck or semi and Bill Carter and Bill Carter's semi?
Yes, sir.
Sir, have you in fact reviewed the footage since you obtained it from Cargill?
Yes, sir.
Deputy, when we look at the files in just a few minutes, it appears that the file name contains a timestamp.
Yes, sir.
What created the timestamp on the file name?
The program itself.
Did you have anything to do with selecting the file names that were attached to each individual file?
No, sir.
And did you in fact cross-reference the times on the system with the receipts that the jury has already seen created by Cargill as well?
I was advised at the plant. I did not see the receipts myself, but I was told approximately at what time these were time-stamped. Those receipts were time-stamped.
And did that assist you in looking at the video footage to identify the vehicles because you had a general idea of what time it was?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Sir, I'm handing you Exhibit 5. Do you recognize that thumb drive?
I do.
Sir, have you had a chance to look at Exhibit 5 and verify that it contains the video clips from Cargill?
Yes, sir.
How are you certain that you've looked at that exhibit?
Because I initialed this flash drive, sir.
State offers Exhibit 5.
One moment. Your Honor, no objection.
Exhibit 5 is admitted.
Your Honor, permission to publish Exhibit 5 to the jury.
You may indeed.
And Your Honor, just to be clear, it is, I believe, 6 video clips.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I ask for some assistance?
Yes. I think Mr. Paulson might be in trouble.
Your Honor, perhaps we could invite the jury to take a stretch break or something so that we can try to figure out what's going on with our electronics here.
How long do you suppose?
Judge, I'm hoping mere seconds, but at this rate, I have no idea.
Well, why don't we stand in place if you feel like it?
Your Honor, may we approach?
You may. Okay, are we ready to proceed, Mr. Bull?
I hope so, Judge.
Okay.
So, Deputy Balma, we have queued up video 1 on this thumb drive. What are we looking at?
On the right side of the screen, you'll see a dark semi-tractor trailer, or tractor, so to speak. The trailer's behind it, you can't see. Believed to be operated by Bill Carter, and he is at what I believe to be the scale and probing area of the Cargill Eddy plant. And then he will pull off the scale and park more towards the top of the screen. After he parks, you'll see Mr. Bill Carter walk up to what's believed to be the ticket office of the Cargill plant to sign some sort of documentation that you don't see, but you see him walk past, and then you see him walk back to his semi-tractor trailer again.
So, Deputy, we're seeing that at the top of the screen, it's showing a start time or a file name 619 or 2015-06-19, then 085829. Were you told that the 0858 is in fact the time?
That was my understanding, yes, sir.
And then we see this individual walking up. Did you later determine or believe that to be Bill Carter based on other information you know?
Yes, sir.
And is that other information the fact that at about 9:01 or 9:02, whatever the receipts say, he signed paperwork inside that little ticket area?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you believe the individual that's now appearing on the screen at about 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the clip number 1 that we saw, was that in fact Bill Carter walking back to the semi?
I believe so, sir.
Warren, if you'd cue up the next clip, please. Now, the top of this file name says 619 and started at 9:02. What are we observing here, sir?
The black semi tractor trailer, believed to be operated by Bill Carter, pulling away from where he parked after he was weighed, and he is now pulling and driving to what I believe to be what I call a staging area before he is unloading his trailer of grain.
Sir, as someone who's looked at these videos, is there anything else of evidentiary value for this case in this clip now that the truck is pulled away?
No, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, Warren, if you'd show the next clip, please. So this is now a clip 619 at 9:49 a.m. What do we see here?
Again, on the right side of the screen, you'll see a white semi-tractor, and that is believed to be operated by Jason Carter on the scale and probing areas we've previously seen. He'll pull off the scale, he'll park his tractor and trailer, and then walk into what's believed to be the ticket office to sign documentation, and then he'll exit that office and walk back to his parked tractor trailer.
Sir, it now appears that we see an individual wearing blue jeans, a white t-shirt, and a ball cap. Do you know who that individual is?
I believe that to be Jason Carter.
And do you see Jason Carter in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please tell me what he's wearing?
A blue suit with a blue tie, white collared shirt.
Now we're examining a clip with the file name 91803 for 619. What are we seeing in this video?
After he exits the ticket office, is where he gets back into his white semi-tractor trailer and pulls away from his parking spot again, pulling into what I would call a staging area.
Deputy, as someone who's watched this video, does this video have any more evidentiary value?
No, sir.
Warren, if you'd show the next clip, please. Sir, this now shows us 9:56. Can you tell us what we're looking for here?
Again, this is from the previous camera angle, but this will be where believed to be the white semi-tractor trailer operated by Mr. Jason Carter is exiting after unloading his grain.
And then the final clip. Sir, what are we seeing here?
There's a white semi-tractor trailer exiting the Eddyville Cargill plant at the exit gates.
May I get the date stamp on that last one, Your Honor?
Are you able to display that, counsel?
And Deputy, just so the record's clear, that clip shows 9:57:47 as the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we did not see any video clips of Bill Carter leaving the facility, did we?
No, sir.
Did you look for them?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to find any video clips of Bill Carter leaving?
No, sir.
Finally, Deputy, did you check to determine whether or not the time on the video for Cargill matched the actual time that it was?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me the process you went through to check whether or not that last clip that says 9:57, was it really 9:57?
I'm not sure of the exact process I did, but I do know that I made a conscious effort of referencing the timestamp on the Cargill surveillance video with what believed to be the world clock or the world time.
So, in addition to that, have you verified whether or not the world clock or world time and the Marion County Dispatch Center are the same time?
Yes, sir.
And are they?
Yes, sir.
So when you reviewed the time on the Cargill clock, did you check, were you able to determine whether or not the time was accurate?
I was able to determine that. The process in which I did that, I can't recall exactly.
And what did you learn?
I learned that real time was 1 minute and 10 seconds ahead of the recorded video time according to the Cargill timestamp.
So if it's 10 a.m. on the tape, it's really 10:01 and 10 seconds in real life.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, state passes the witness.
Cross-examination.
Okay, so here's the math part of your testimony. So that last video clip, if the time on the top says 9:57 and 47 seconds, that's the time when the video starts. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So then if that video is 14 seconds long, the video ends at 9:59:01.
Yes, ma'am.
And then real time is another minute and 10 seconds later, which would then put it at 10 o'clock and 11 seconds.
I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I'll take your word for it, ma'am.
But the name of the file is the starting time.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you add the length of the video,
Yes, ma'am.
and then a minute and 10 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
And the white truck was pretty easy to identify because it says Carter Farms across the side of it, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Bull?
No redirect, Your Honor. And this does conclude the witnesses the state has available for today, but it is my understanding that the defense wishes to make some record outside the presence of the jury.
Okay. Well, you get off a little early this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be at recess. We are going to reconvene on Monday morning at 9 a.m. I wish you a very long and relaxing weekend. Hope it won't snow again before we see each other again. During this recess, you're going to go home, and whoever lives with you is going to say, "Wow, do you know what it's about yet?" And you need to please do not discuss the case with your spouse, your child, your parent, or anyone else. And don't let anyone else discuss the case with you. Please do not allow yourself to be exposed to any print or broadcast media reporting about this case. Keep an open mind. You have certainly not heard all of the evidence yet. And as I said, have a great, relaxing weekend. We will see you Monday morning at 9 a.m. Okay, the record should reflect we are out of the presence of the jury. You may be seated. Is it my understanding the defendant has an offer of proof of some sort?
Yes, Your Honor, it's with Deputy Balma.
Yes. You may proceed, Ms. Branstad.
Deputy Balma, were you working on Friday, March 1st
Friday, March 1st of what year?
of this year, of 2019?
Possibly.
Remember spending some time in the evidence room in the past, well, a week ago today?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? What were you doing that day?
On March 1st?
Yes.
I don't know what day that was. Are you referencing when we were looking at, or I was verifying video out of a piece of evidence box? Okay.
I am.
Okay.
So assuming that was March 1st.
Okay. Assuming that.
How much time did you spend in the evidence room that day?
Oh, I wasn't in the evidence room. I was in our EOC room, which is a meeting room. We were approximately in there for, I got there, probably started at 6:30, 10:30, so probably approximately 4 hours maybe,
So that put you there until about 10:30 at night?
approximately, if I remember correctly.
And what were you doing that day?
I was labeling, you could say, DVDs, CDs, and flash drive evidence, and resealing them up and opening them.
Do you remember about how many DVDs, CDs, and flash drives you went through?
I went approximately 50 maybe.
Were some of those mislabeled?
Yes, I believe there's a couple that were mislabeled, yes, ma'am.
Were some missing from the list that was on the box that contained them?
I heard people talking about a few being missing. I don't know for sure which ones were missing, but yes, I believe there was 2 or 3 or 4 missing from my knowledge.
And was this all evidence related to the case that we're here for today?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you just there in order to make sure that all the evidence had been provided to the defendant?
I didn't know my purpose for being there other than providing law enforcement as the chain of custody for opening and resealing evidence in this case.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Bull?
Your Honor, I believe it was the defense's offer of proof. I have nothing to add.
Okay, very well. May this witness now step down?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And is he released as far as both of you are concerned? Mr. Bull?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy. You are excused. Anything further we need to take up this afternoon?
Your Honor, just a minor matter. In the future, if there is an offer of proof, I prefer that the state not announce to the jury that the defendant wants to take something up outside the presence of the jury.
You would prefer that he does announce that?
That he does not.
That he does not announce that?
Your Honor,
I
and
think
that,
that's probably appropriate, Mr. Bull.
There was no ill intention, Your Honor. I just wanted to verify with the court and that my deputy didn't leave. He's about to start his spring break, so.
Okay, I understand. I fully understand. Very well. I would request that council be here no later than 8:30 on Monday morning, if there's anything that needs to be taken up. Okay? We are recessed for the weekend. Have a good one.